Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Grow with Aziza. Today, we are going to focus on fear of judgment. Why fear of judgment controls your life, and how is it possible to overcome fear of being judged and build real confidence? Let me ask you a question. Have you actually ever stopped yourself from doing something simply because you were worried about what people would think? Maybe you wanted to start a business. Maybe you wanted to speak confidently. Maybe you wanted to apply for a new job. Maybe you wanted to share your opinion in a meeting. Or maybe you wanted to post something online. But before you even started, your mind began asking questions like, what if people judge me? What if I embarrass myself? What if they think I am not good enough? What if I make a mistake? What if I fail in front of everyone? What if, what if, what if? And just like that, you stop. Not because you lack ability, not because you are not talented, not because you don't deserve success, but because of one simple thing, which is fear of judgment. And if we are being honest, fear of judgment controls more lives than most people realize. How? It actually controls the opportunity we take. Fear of judgment controls your dreams. It actually controls the conversations we have. Fear of judgment controls the risk we are willing to take, the confidence we have in ourselves. In fact, many people actually spend years trying to build confidence, to improve their self esteem, to stop overthinking, and overcome anxiety without realizing that fear of being judged is quietly sitting underneath all of it. So today, I want us to talk about that. Why does fear of judgment have so much power over us? Why do we care so much about other people's opinions? And how do we stop letting fear of being judged control our lives? One thing I have actually noticed is that many people think they are afraid of failure, but I don't think that is completely true. I think many people are actually afraid of failing in front of other people. Think about it seriously. If nobody could see your mistakes, would you be as afraid to try? If nobody could judge you, would you be as afraid to start? If nobody could criticize you, would you hesitate as much? Probably not. Why? Because what many people fear isn't failure itself. People fear embarrassment. People fear rejection. People fear criticism. They actually fear being seen struggling. They fear being seen learning. They fear being seen making mistakes. And that's what actually makes fear of judgment so powerful. Let's take a simple example. Imagine someone wants to improve their language. Maybe they want to speak more confidently. So they search things like how to speak confidently, how to improve my speaking skills, how to stop being nervous when speaking. They genuinely want to improve, but when it is time to actually speak, they stay silent. Why? Because they are afraid someone will hear their mistakes. They are afraid someone will judge their accent. They are afraid someone will think they are not fluent enough. So instead of practicing, they avoid speaking altogether. And here is the irony: the thing that would actually help them become more confident is the exact thing they are avoiding. This actually happens everywhere. People avoid public speaking because they are afraid of judgment. People avoid posting videos because they are afraid of judgment. People avoid asking questions in meetings because they are afraid of judgment. People avoid opportunities because they are afraid of judgment. Fear of judgment doesn't just create fear, it actually creates avoidance, and avoidance keeps people stuck. I actually think this is where a lot of overthinking begins. People often ask questions like, how do I stop overthinking? But many times, overthinking is simply fear of judgment. Seriously, think about what happens. You want to do something, then your mind starts creating scenarios. Scenarios like, what if they laugh at me? What if they don't like it? What if I look stupid? What if people criticize me? What if I fail? You replay conversations in your head. You imagine negative outcomes. You analyze every single possibility. And suddenly, you are so exhausted before you have even taken action. So, the problem isn't that you are thinking too much. The problem is that you are giving too much importance to other people's opinions. Now, here is something that completely changed my perspective. Most people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. Seriously, think about your own life. How often do you spend your day analyzing someone else's mistakes? Probably not very often, right? Why? Because you are so busy living your own life. People who struggle with social anxiety, those who struggle with fear of judgment, low self confidence, and low self esteem often feel like they are constantly being watched. Like there is an audience paying attention to everything they do. But most people are focused on themselves, their own worries. They are focused on their own worries. They are focused on their own insecurities. They are focused on their own goals, their own problems. The audience in your mind is usually much bigger than the audience in reality. Another thing I have actually realized is that fear of judgment often starts very early. Maybe you were criticized a lot in the past. Maybe you were compared to other people. Maybe mistakes were treated like failures. Maybe you learned that being accepted meant being perfect. So your brain developed a strategy like don't make mistakes, don't stand out, don't take risk, don't give people a reason to judge you. At first, it makes you feel protected, like this strategy has somehow protected you, but eventually it becomes limiting. It becomes limiting. Why? Because you can't grow without making mistakes. You can't build confidence without feeling uncomfortable. You can't become your best self while constantly hiding from judgment. And here is the truth that changed everything for me. People are going to judge you anyway. They will judge you if you try. They will judge you if you don't. They will judge you if you succeed. They will judge you if you fail, if you speak, if you are quiet, if you follow your dreams, and if you play it safe. Really, they will judge you even if you play it safe. There is no version of life where everyone approves of everything you do. It doesn't exist. This is the hard truth. It doesn't exist. So, if judgment is unavoidable, maybe the goal should be becoming strong enough to handle it. Now, I know what some people are thinking. They are thinking stuff like, but how do I stop caring what people think? Well, the answer is to slowly stop giving other people's opinions more value than your own opinions. Every time you want to do something and fear appears, ask yourself, what am I actually afraid of? Well, most of the time, the answer is not failure, it is judgment. And once you recognize that, you can challenge it. Ask yourself questions like, but what if people judge me? Then, and then you answer, okay, what if people judge me? So what? Will my life end? No. Will my dreams disappear? No. Will the world stop turning? No. Seriously, nothing will happen. We will survive, just like you. Seriously, you need to ask yourself these questions because in the end, nothing actually will change. You will survive, just like you have survived every other uncomfortable moments in your life. You will survive the current uncomfortable moments as well. One of the most powerful ways to overcome fear of judgment is surprisingly simple. What is it? You need to collect evidence. How? Evidence that you can survive being seen. Maybe you can try to speak up one time. Maybe you can try to share an opinion. Maybe you can ask a question. Maybe you can start the project that you have been delaying forever. Maybe you can have that delayed and postponed conversation. Not because you will feel confident immediately, but because every action teaches your brain something. It teaches your brain that embarrassment is survivable, mistakes are survivable, criticism is survivable, judgment is survivable. And that is how confidence grows. Not by thinking, not by waiting, not by seeking validation, but by taking action despite fear. The people we admire most aren't people who never felt fear of judgment. They are people who felt it and kept moving anyway. They felt nervous. They felt insecure. They felt afraid, but they refused to let other people's opinions become the author of their lives. And that is the difference. So, if fear of judgment has been controlling your life lately, I want to leave you with one question. 5 years from now, what will matter more? The fact that some people judge you, or the fact that you never give yourself a chance? Well, because most people don't regret trying. They regret waiting. They regret hiding. They regret staying silent. They regret letting fear decide who they become. At the end of the day, overcoming fear of judgment isn't about becoming fearless. It is about understanding that other people's opinions are not more important than your goals. It is about realizing that confidence comes from action, not approval. It is about learning that self worth does not depend on validation from others. And it is about remembering that your life is too valuable to be controlled by imagined criticism. So, yeah, this is basically everything that I thought of sharing with you in today's episode. Thank you so much for listening and spending the time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, and if you have ever struggled with fear of judgment, maybe fear of overthinking, fear of self doubt, or worrying about what other people think, I really hope it reminded you that you are not alone in this journey. And if you found value in this conversation, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a future episode. We have many more conversations coming about confidence, self worth, people pleasing, social anxiety, overthinking, discipline, motivation, personal growth, and more. Also, share this episode with someone who might need to hear it today. Sometimes one conversation, one idea, or one reminder can make a bigger difference than we realize. And I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me what is one thing you have stopped yourself from doing simply because you were afraid of being judged. So, thank you again for being here, for listening, and for being part of this community. Take care of yourself, keep growing, keep learning, and remember, you don't need everyone's approval to become the person you are meant to be. I will see you in the next episode, and I wish you a wonderful day and take care. Bye bye.